Hey guys, I broke my social fear again and encountered a worst case situation along with a few other highlights that I have to do because I forgot to do them earlier. So just a few days ago is when I was able to bike nearly 30 miles all the way from my home to Montclair just to look around. And I like to look around because it was also sunset at this time, but that was one of our best major achievements that I've probably been doing for a while. But my biggest fear again, guys, are those weed thorns that you get when biking. Biggest risk right there. I know I should get a puncture resistant bike tire soon, but I'll try to do that. But 30 miles is a whopping thing right there. I do not think on that day that I ate enough carbohydrates to last me that long. So in that trip, I did get a few, at least a good serving of two tacos as a stop because I did not have enough carbohydrates to last me. But later on, though, today, back to now, is when I realized as a result of such long trips, that little thornweed plants and the things that caught onto my bike while biking got onto my bike and managed to puncture both of my tires, and costing me $40 when it came to my visit today. But since my parents are a member, I mean, we saved 20 bucks on that. Usually it's $10 for a tube, so that would be $60, but it's only $40 because we're a member, and the new tube's cost was free this time. I sat around for half an hour looking around in the store. I wanted to get their chocolate, but I realized I already have like chocolate at home. So for another time, I did decide to buy a $4 soap holder that works very nice for rectangular bar soaps, but not for the bar soap that I would use at home. It was a square one this time. But next thing after that, I decided to head down to a local store nearby, though I do say that having to walk all the way down to these places, guys, is pretty tiring because the first time my bike was flat, I did have to like move it along the streets and not like ride it because I know I would damage it more. Later on, I mean, I did head down to a local store and I bought a large water bottle. And later on, I decided to break my social fear just a little bit more in terms of desensitizing me to talking to new people. And there was this woman, I guess, named Rachel. She seemed very hesitant, so to speak. I think she was waiting for something. She was probably not able to pay for a product, so they're waiting. So I think I took a bad approach of like, what's your Instagram after like introducing myself, but it's still good anyway. As a hope to try to talk to her later because she might end up leaving and then I might not be able to host some small talk, but she said no, so that's fine. I'm glad though because we did help desensitize and breaking my own fear again. But her name was Rachel. If she somehow finds this video, guys, out of the entire digital multiverse, maybe her girlfriend, if she's bi, or maybe boyfriend, or whatever family, that'll be pretty surprising. But anyways, after that, a bonus side quest that I decided to do is that I went to my local library, and after that, I hesitated a little bit, but I grabbed a Leonardo da Vinci book that I was curious about, and then I asked to sit near a girl named Naya, and this time she was an adult. She told me about herself, though she was a little bit busy with her studies. I liked the book I was reading since it detailed the artist's life. There's a lot to explain there, but I talked to her primarily about what I thought about school, and she implied that it is pretty hard if you go to try to look person by person to find a friend group, so she went the classic path and told me that outside activities, clubs are where you would find like your and friends. So it reconfirms my thoughts about plate tectonic movement in sociality. So that's a cool thing right there. I think what helps me most, guys, is that after being participating in sports and watching sports, I think the biggest thing that helps me socially is that cool thing that they have during baseball, for example. They always have that timer, 30, 15 seconds for the pitcher. I think in volleyball too, they also have this. So I have not played volleyball in a long time. There's always like a timer there before a given game starts. I use that like 30 seconds, like I count down in my head, I decide what I'm going to do next, and then like 30, 29, 28, I think what I'm going to do, and then once that timer in my mind goes off, I then decide to talk and try to go out. It's a way to help fix out my social anxiety because it is a little bit challenging. It did help me like that though, I do absolutely say that. But I think the biggest trouble that I did have is definitely like holding a deep conversation, especially to people who I don't know yet. But I know it gets easier as one builds a friendship, but you know, we're still working on that. So that timer thing in there helps my mind. In a later side notes from the Reflection Transparency X, the girl said that to me, Naya, that finding friends in clubs is the best in outside activities. Well, what I can answer to that is that this year I was a part of an art club during the year, but I had to leave for other reasons unrelated to those people. But there was one girl in that club, not the other one that I talked to in the beginning of the year, not the one who was like in the library and all, but later in the year of who I knew was involved in reporting me to the admins over a report that was later proven to be overreach. But my fear there is that I still don't hate the group despite all the exposés on them that I do have. My biggest thing is that what if they try to do something bad to me again next year if I rejoin that club? That's what I fear about them. So that's something next year, guys, if I join that club. But the environment should be fine because there's a lot of people anyway. I know they're still, as I said, guys, they're still kind people. Not that they meant any evil on me. But the rest of the time, I'm kind of late to joining the library because I should have done this during May. I didn't have a bike that was working, so I could not get there on time as much, but I still should have walked there anyway. But anyway, still glad I've broken my fear again, and I'll be happy to talk to more people if I can.